What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy, or as it's known nowadays, strategy, MSTR. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 9th day of May. We have about 2 hours and 52 minutes left in this day, 2 hours, 52 minutes left in this week. It's the end of the week. It is Friday. And we're going to close potentially around this area here. I don't expect Bitcoin's going to just run up by the end of the next 2 hours. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but here, closing right here on a weekly basis does set us up in a rather precarious situation, because if next week is red, that could be a rejection off the overbought zone, and that could spell trouble for MSTR over the coming days and even over the coming weeks. Trouble that's on the lines of like back down to $340, maybe even around $300, something like that. I doubt that we go lower. So the goal here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, the goal here is if we close here, next week needs to close green, and I think it will. I doubt that we find resistance here. I doubt that we turn around here. It would not surprise me if we close here and then maybe next week we move down a little bit, to just have that look of fear out there. But if Bitcoin moves up over the weekend, it's very possible that instead of rejecting it all, we blast right through this. Starting next week, we open up to the upside and we get right into the overbought zone on a weekly basis. That'd be phenomenal. But very, very important that if we close here, and likely 2 hours 51 minutes left, we'll probably close right around this area. And you never know. Three hours, guys. It's a lot of time. I mean, you can move up a good bit, you can move down a good bit. Either way, something that would take us away from this area might change the precariousness of it. But I think even if we move down a little bit, guys, like we're still going to be up in this area. It still looks like a rejection. Even if we move up a little bit, we're still in this area. It could still look like a rejection if next week closes red. And I don't think that we're going to close red next week. Okay, it's not a rejection yet, and I don't think that it will be. But I'm stating that as something that's a point of concern that we should address and avoid. Hopefully we can avoid, right? Not that we can really do anything about that. It's the big dogs who decide, right? But we'll see how it all goes. Looking at the daily time frame here, we are overbought. We've got a nice little double top in the overbought zone. This to me is a little bit of a signal that we might cool off a little bit here, and that's fine, right? $408 now, 2 hours 50 minutes left in the day. It's very possible that by the end of today we do come down and we fill this gap here at about 390, something like that. We could fill this gap. Maybe we go down, we fill the gap, this gap that's a little bit lower than that gap, we fill it at like 380 there, something in that area. If we don't do that today, it's very possible that next week we open up to the downside and then we move up, filling the gap the same way. So one way or another, I would expect that we see prices somewhere around like 380, something around 380 to $403. That's my expectation, right? Here we are at 408 now. Absolutely, I believe the path is going to go higher. I don't believe that we're done. This is not the end of the move. We have a lot higher to go. But if we're looking here at this point of resistance, you're at the same areas that you found resistance before. Every time that you found resistance here, you went at least to this area, which is at about like $370. So I don't think I'm being too crazy calling for a price that would be down around like 385, 380, something like that. 390, 367, somewhere in that zone. That's where I think we're going to go. We're at $409 now. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, let's see if we can make further sense out of this 1 hour time frame here. Pretty overbought, looking good. Honestly, this is this is a very nice looking 1 hour RSI. I have very little problems with this. The thing is though, with this, you can go lower and I would still have little problems with you, but you don't have to go lower. I don't know, man. Recently, historically, in the recent histories over the past few days, this is kind of the area that you bounce from. So maybe you do. Wouldn't that be nice? Is Bitcoin going to bounce here? Wouldn't that be nice if we had an end of day bounce? It might, maybe by the end of today, you guys, we actually go up. I'll tell you what, if we go up from here, it's very possible that we don't even close these gaps. It's very possible. And I'll let you know on the Sunday game plan video what I'm thinking. But as of now, that was loud, I know. As of now, the expectation is that we will fill these gaps. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, but I think the end of the day moving up might take away the likelihood that we do fill these gaps, especially if Bitcoin moves up over the weekend. That would take the likelihood away as well. This 1 hour RSI just looks phenomenal, man. It really does look phenomenal, but you do have a lot of volume here on this selling candle. Volume's persisting as you're coming down. It might make sense. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Maybe not. Ooh, so many distractions. It might make sense to come down to this area, and if not, we'll continue on our merry way higher. 3 hour time frame here. Looking at the 3 hour time frame, we do have bearish divergence on the 3 hour, and that formed back here at about 390. So it's very possible upping the chances that we go to that 390 area or below. If we're looking at the daily time frame, of course, you've been overbought for a little bit, and you do have, it's not quite a double top, but it's kind of a double top. You know, you're accustomed, you're pretty used to these slightly higher high double tops in the RSI, right? And you notice there you find some resistance. Here you had a slightly higher high double top right there, and you found some resistance. Obviously you kept growing, but here you found a slightly higher high double top, and at that point in time you stopped growing. But I'm just saying these are, whether you stop growing or you continue growing, they're very reflective of relevant turnaround points. So we could be at one now. Just be aware of that. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. We could drop down to 380, 370, 390, in any of those areas there, and be fine. It would just be a higher low and a series of higher lows that takes us to higher prices inevitably. On the weekly time frame, hold on guys, hold on. On the weekly time frame, if we're looking at this here, oh man, I really got to sneeze again. It's crazy. Whew. I don't know what's up with me. I've been so sneezy lately. High to low, it's not, I guess it is spring. I wouldn't call it allergies though. It's like, I don't know what, I guess maybe it is allergies. I don't know. High to low, it doesn't feel like allergies though. When I get allergies, guys, I can't breathe. And like, I can breathe pretty well. Like, got a little congestion there, but not too much. Anyways, high to low, we're just now in that area where we're getting overbought. Ideally, next week we don't close it red, we don't reject, right? Ideally, we penetrate, we get into the overbought zone, and when we do, that's when the magic happens. How do we know this? Well, we have two prior instances of this exact thing happening. Once you got in the overbought zone here, that's when the magic happened. Once you got in the overbought zone here, genie's out of the bottle, you're ready, you're breaking out, you're going higher, right? If we see anything comparable to these prior two moves that we saw here, I'm going to take this low, not that low. Just like I'm not taking the overall, like I'm just taking this low, the low of the move, right? Low to high here. We would get something on the lines of like a 350 to 377% growth. And I actually think that we're going to see something larger than that, right? From the low here to what would be like 377% growth. That takes you very, very close to this 1886200 area, which is a target area that we've been talking about for months now, right? I thought that we'd be here, and when I say we've been talking about it for months, I'm not saying we've been talking about it for months to happen in June or July. I thought it was going to happen in February, March, April. Here we are in May. I think it's going to happen in June. It's going to happen at the end of June, if not early July, that MSTR is likely going to outperform its last move, which was 377%, outperform the move before, which is 355%. You're going all the way up to $1,150 to $1,300, if not higher, by the end of June, if not early July. You're on that path now. So on the weekly time frame, you're bullish as hell. On the daily time frame, the 1 hour time frame, a little bit of turbulence. But odds are you've got a lot of growth to go. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you have the fortunate opportunity to buy MSTR one last time below $400, be it at the end of today or sometime next week, take that opportunity, seize the moment, because it's not going to be there forever. And we're about to rip the prices that are not just below 400, but above 500, above 600, above $1,000 in a matter of weeks. So I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Expect some turbulence. That's probably the main message of this video. Okay, ta-ta. Take care.